So when I first joined the army, I was in training, and one of the things they were teaching us about was the different styles of leadership. And one of the styles of leadership is called servant leadership. And that really resonated with me because of what I saw in the Bible. I was already a Christian at this stage, and the example that I saw Jesus giving in the Bible aligned with what I was learning about what servant leadership is in the army. And I remember it really resonated with me, and I was inspired. And I remember I wrote down a quote from the Bible and I stuck it in my room in the army, in my little bedroom. I stuck it on the wall in the bedroom, and it was the quote where Jesus said, because people were asking, his disciples were asking about, being great and who's the greatest and all that sort of stuff. And then Jesus was like, the greatest among you is your servant. And then he referred to himself. He goes, just as the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. And I remember I felt inspired when I read that, because I was learning about servant leadership as well. And I just wrote that verse out on a piece of paper and I stuck it on the wall. And it's funny how, you can get inspired by things, you can have these romanticized views about things, but then when you're experiencing it for real, it's totally different. And so what actually happened with me was we went out on this first bush exercise, and I had totally forgotten by this stage what was on the wall and things like that in my bedroom. And we were on this exercise. We were rotating through, taking turns being in a position of leadership throughout the team. So we're starting off small. So as a section is basically eight people, and you've got a section commander who's in charge of that section, and then you've got a section 2IC who's the second in charge, but is also basically the admin assistant of the section. And what the job of the section 2IC is to basically make sure all the needs of everyone in the section are met. They've got enough food, they've got enough water, they've got enough ammunition, they don't have any injuries or illnesses. And so what we were doing, because we were still learning and going through training, is we would rotate through each of these positions every day. So every 24 hours we'd swap. Someone else would be the section commander, someone else would be the 2IC, someone else would be the gunner, the grenadier, whatever. And anyway, what happened was we started this exercise, and I just happened to be the section 2IC. And 24 hours passed, a few positions changed, but I was still the 2IC. And I was like, that's strange, why didn't the instructor change me, And at this stage I was carrying the machine gun as well, which is heavier than just a normal rifle. So I'm lugging around this machine gun, I'm running around to everyone as part of my job as a 2IC, making sure they've got enough, water, ammunition, food, all that stuff, doing regular checks throughout the day, making sure we haven't lost any equipment, doing all these checks. And normally the 2IC will just carry a rifle because you're running around doing all these admin tasks, and you can't be lugging around a heavy machine gun while you're trying to do. But for some reason I just got stuck with a machine gun, and I'm the 2IC, and it was more than 24 hours, it was 48 hours, and it was rolling on to the third day. And I just remember feeling like, this sucks, like why isn't the instructor swapping me out? This is so unfair. I've been the 2IC for now 3 days in a row, and I'm carrying this heavy machine gun. This makes no sense. And I just remember feeling frustrated and fed up, and why aren't I getting rotated? And I had already asked the instructor, like, hey, we're going to swap people out. And he's like, oh yeah, we will, tomorrow or whatever. And I was getting frustrated, just, when I got some time to myself, just by myself. And I just remember looking up at the sky and just going, God, like this sucks. Like why aren't I getting changed out? Like, why is this happening? Like, I was just so frustrated, tired, because when you're out there, you're sleep deprived as well. So like everything just feels worse. And then as I was looking up and complaining, saying, God, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Boom, a memory, like a memory just came to my mind, and I saw that verse stuck on the wall in my bedroom, that, the greatest among you is your servant, just as the Son of Man came not to serve, sorry, not to be served, but to serve and give his life as a ransom for many. I saw that verse on my bedroom wall in my imagination as I was complaining, saying, God, why is this happening? Boom, I just saw that image. And as soon as I saw that, I knew God was saying to me, like, hey, I'm teaching you what it means to be a servant leader. Why are you complaining? It was so funny and so humbling at the same time. And I love, like, God can speak to us in so many different ways, but that was such a powerful way. And one of the ways I know it was God is, it wasn't me. It's not like I was trying to think of an explanation. Why am I going through this? How can I make myself feel better? I wasn't thinking that. I was literally just venting. I was complaining. I was like, God, why is this happening? Like, please change me out. Like, why aren't I getting swapped out? This is so unfair. And so, like, I was in this mode of complaining and frustrated, and then boom, I just get this image in my mind of that verse on my wall. And straight away I realized, oh my goodness, like, the very thing that I want to be a servant leader, the very thing that, you know, I was like, yes, that's how I want to be. God was literally giving me the opportunity to practice that, and I was complaining about it, not even realizing that's what he was doing. so like, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, God. And instantly my attitude and my perspective changed from complaining, this is annoying, frustrated, why is this happening to me, to like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. This is my opportunity. Like, God is teaching me what it means. He's teaching me through experience what it means, because you can learn something, you know, through knowledge and intellect, and, you know, like, that's fine, that's good, but it's totally different to learn it by experience. And I was like, oh, as soon as I realized that, I was just filled with joy, excitement. I was like, oh my goodness, like, I want to do the best I can at this job. So, you know, I was running around checking everyone, making sure they're okay, got enough food, water, making sure they got everything they need. It was so funny how just my mind and my attitude just completely changed. Once, it's interesting how once you realize there's a purpose in what you're going through, you all of a sudden have energy, you have enthusiasm. Whereas when you don't understand why you're going through what you're going through, and you feel like there's no purpose to it, and you feel like it's just wasted time, or wasted, like, this isn't fair, what's happening to me, like, it just sucks you of energy, and you're just negative, complain. Whereas when you realize there's a purpose to it, and it's amazing the mindset shift that happens. And you know, and this was right at the start of my military training. And then if we fast forward to the end of my military training, at the end of the 18 months before I graduated from the military college, I remember one of my friends was talking to me, and he kind of he was making a bit of a joke about it. He's like, Peter, he goes, you know, you're the best at being the Section 2 IC. He's like, you're the best at that job. and then he laughed to himself. He goes, yeah. He goes, isn't that funny? He goes, you're the best at the worst job. You know, I think he meant it as a bit of a dig, a bit of a, you know, making fun of me because I'm the best at the crappiest, or at the least desirable job, the job that no one wants. I'm the best at it. That's what he said anyway. But I took it as such a compliment, because I was like, wow, look what God did in me, from complaining and whinging, like, why is this happening to me? I don't want to do this position, to like someone else saying that, you know, I'm the best at that job. I was just so grateful that, you know, I didn't take any credit for it. I know it wasn't my own ability, because on my own I was whinging about it. Whereas as soon as God, you know, gave me that perspective shift, I was like, wow, like, this has a purpose, and this is teaching me to be more like Jesus, a servant leader. Yeah, I was so grateful to God. I was like, wow, thank you, God, for changing me and working in me to the point where, you know, I'm exemplifying this servant leadership that we should be exemplifying. So yeah, I just want to share that short testimony, that short story with you. Hope it encourages you, you know, look at those opportunities in your life to be a servant. It doesn't mean you get walked all over and you just let people control you and manipulate you. No, but where there is genuine opportunities to serve and help others, whether it's your family, whether it's other people, and it's within your means to do so, then yeah, see it as an opportunity to serve. Don't see it as a burden, like, oh. Yeah, so just thought I'd share that. God bless you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.